오르드 오르드 뭐라 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 너 오르드 뭐라 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 너 오르드 Yo 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 yippee yo yippee yo 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 yippee yo yabba yo yabba yo 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 yippee yo yippee yo yippee yo yippee yo yippee yo oh oh yippee yo yippee yo yippee yo. I gotta cool it a little bit. Get it cool. This is cool it. Let me see what the food. Yippee yow, yippee yow, yippee yow, yippee yow. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about.
I'm just as tired as everybody else. I just literally cannot go to sleep.
See what I'm saying, Mikey? That's what I was saying. Like what you feeling? It's like hard because like the circumstances. It's hard to like try to sleep good. You know, it's just tough right now. So
no, it's not even sleeping good, bro. It's sleeping in general.
Exactly. That too. It's tough because like our circumstances just like preventing us from like getting it what we need or what we should get. But at the same time, that's why we in the winning team, because our mindset, we should be like those individuals out there that's like mentally unstable, like to be acting up due to their circumstances, but we're not, you know what I'm saying, because our brother and the squad is in the winning team. You know what I'm saying? We don't do no official tissue selling here. We do sometimes, you know what I'm saying, slip a little bit, but they ain't selling, you know what I'm saying? No official selling. We just say to play around, but
I get it.
Yeah, you feel me? Like
I have like genuine like sleep like actual like I need to take medicine problems. Like they literally like my doctor said if I don't take medicine I'm gonna have like a lot of issues with like Alzheimer's.
Dude, you're gonna be like those fucking Russian rats that got the sleep center of their brain removed. Just ran around until they all died.
Oh.
Well, the thing is that I have not negatively affected my brain yet, but my doctor is worried that it will eventually catch up to me.
You don't take your
Because
pills?
I've had several brain scans done, and apparently it's not negatively affecting me. It's just like usually they can see if they do like brain scans and shit, like if you're gonna get like Alzheimer's from stuff, mainly because of like several other problems that like usually show with chronic sleep deprivation. But I don't have any of those issues, fortunately, and they're trying to get me on sleep medication to prevent those issues from eventually showing up, because they say that yeah, you could be like those problems might not be here now, but they could be here later. You don't want a higher risk of fucking like
oh my god,
Alzheimer's when you're older.
I'm gonna cry tears.
Why? Yeah, give him some kisses.
That was depressing.
Bro, make out with the homie.
No, that was
my guy
depressing.
Vubin, Mr. Vubin in the building.
I'm here for you, bro.
How you doing?
Oh my god.
I'm about in there. And
Yo, Mr. Voob, hug the camera real quick.
I've heard that shit's sad as fuck.
What
Oh
happened?
my god.
Hug the camera real quick.
Hug the camera?
Yeah.
Alright, let me whoop this dude real quick.
Oh my god. Oh my god, this expansion is actually really good. Oh.
Yeah.
I
Man.
wish I could feel your enjoyment. Watch that.
Well, maybe if you played the game.
What is it?
Holy shit, I am actually fucking sad right now.
你的脸一道疤痕都没有。
I'll tell you right now, Mikey. If I play the game, I'll catch up with you.
No, you wouldn't.
You don't believe me? You
Nope.
doubting me?
Yep.
You're really doing that to make me want to play the game more.
Yep.
But you doubt me.
Because I know you,
Oh, apparently it was Yoshi's
and I know that you can't do it. So I know you're too
Apparently-
much of a bitch.
Yoshi P turned 49.
有意思。
Yoshi P's
We'll
birthday's on
see,
May
we'll
1st.
see,
That's
we'll see, Mikey.
W.
Repeat after me, 괶ᴇ. Kier is too much of a bitch to get caught up.
Kier is too much of a female dog to get caught up.
Yeah, caught up.
I'ma shoot you with my BB gun.
Just playing.
And I'll
You
take you
will
to horny jail,
manipulate
괶ᴇ.
him
Don't say it.
into playing the game yet.
I'll
Even
take you
if
to
it's
horny
by
jail,
force.
where all the horny males are at.
You're not even gonna do him the favor of putting him in with the horny women.
Horny men.
Damn. That sucks. I'm sorry, 괶ᴇ. I know this must be tough for you.
We're the big jack dudes on meth at
Oh,
That's
God.
tough.
Do you remember that fucking, what was it, the
mayor
Charleston
who
mayor?
killed- Yeah,
Yeah.
found in a
Oh my
hotel
God.
room with two buff naked dudes and meth.
Hey, whatever floats your boat, I guess, bro. I just
That's
hope it
tough.
doesn't hurt your next election.
Dude, it probably hurt a little deeper than his next election.
It probably hurt
You
his
catch my
marriage.
drift.
It hurt his marriage.
That was tough.
Man, it's sipping lean.
No,
you better Wait, are you drinking water out of a styrofoam cup or is that lean?
我们看过
It's juice.
Bro, why the fuck would you be fucking drinking water out of a styrofoam cup?
That's what I'm
When
saying.
you're in the
that's-
office, bro.
You're wasting the styrofoam. Save it for the lean.
That's what I'm saying.
You're wasting it, bro.
Dude, I just remembered a fucking Juice WRLD lyric I was gonna tell my friend about like 2 weeks ago, but I can't remember the lyric. I can only remember what album the song that the lyric is from is on. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna find that.
For sure, for sure. I respect your commitments.
I don't know if I want to keep
I
playing.
think, dude, I
I'm-
think it's on the. I think it's on the Japan freestyle. I think.
Come, is that Xbox or PlayStation?
Well,
Controller.
it's kind of a complicated. I ain't gonna lie. It's like a mixture of both.
Cause I see A button, but put the controller in the camera. PlayStation on one side, right?
Yeah, it's a PlayStation / 360 controller.
Let me see.
Alright. I got you. Let me whoop this dude quick.
PlayStation X, mix it. What? That's weird. You packed that boy.
See, look.
That's a PlayStation controller.
It has the body of one, but it's a 360 mindset. You know?
Ah,
'Cause
oh, like
it's-
shape?
Yeah, it's red as a 360 controller, basically. It's pretty tough.
Oh, so it's like if Xbox One and PlayStation 4 had sex and they made a controller.
Yeah. Yeah.
Disgusting. That's LGBTQ right there. That's
Mikey, the worst part, I'm still only in the beginning of this fucking main story quest.
You know what else is disgusting?
you.
Homophobia.
Yeah, homophobia actually is pretty out of pocket. I ain't gonna lie. So it's so homophobic people are basically people that hate, right? They hate them.
You hear that, Kier? Disgusting.
That's tough. I ain't gonna lie. The only thing I would hate, understandable person that hate, a person that understandably hates something, is Satan. You know, that's the only reasonable thing to hate. Anything else to hate, like humans, that's out of pocket, bro. You're a human yourself.
I'm about to try to tell you why Satan is actually a misunderstood person.
What?
Yes.
I'm interested to hear that.
Okay, so in the Garden of Eden, right?
Mm-hmm.
The original sin was to not eat the fruit of knowledge, right?
Yeah, the one that was in the middle.
Yep. So why was that? Why was the fruit that made us self-aware, that made us able to make our own decisions and to decide to cover ourselves up and decide to like have our own ability to decide what happens to us?
Damn it, I lost focus.
Why was that a bad thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna answer
Why
him.
is that a bad thing? Why would God want his children to be obedient and dumb? Why wouldn't he want his children to have a choice? Why would he literally make the one rule is that you cannot know about certain things?
Hit him with a scripture.
Why was that his one rule? And why was it that Satan was then demonized for trying to allow the humans to make the choice and to be able to make their own decisions / be able to know, to be able to understand?
So you wanna ask, you wanna know why he made humans to think on their own, but like fail in their mistakes and stuff? Is that pretty much how you say it? Or
If you really want to break it down, all of what we consider to be human, our ability to make our own decisions, our ability to fail, our ability to literally be our own people, and to not just be exact copies or rule obedient, was literally Satan's doing. Otherwise, we'd literally just be following the rules. We would have no choice in that. We would have no knowledge of it if it were not for Satan.
I understand that perspective on how it went down, because yeah, you know, he did tamper with the the way how it went was God, when he first, the reason why he put that tree there in the first place, the middle of the garden, and how everything around it was good except for the one in the middle, is because he was trying to you know, see and test like how they were, you know, he's just like, because the thing with God is that he's full of love, right? He's like, what is that? He's the love himself. So when he made humans, his intention wasn't to us not to live long and to make mistakes and all this stuff. His intention was to you know, make a living being, like not like himself, but you know, at a much smaller scale, and make them prosper and let them cultivate do their own thing. And he wants to see his work, in like what is that, in third person, so to speak. So that's why he made humans. He did it with love, of course, obvious. But the reason why he did that test, when he did that test in the first place, is because he wanted to see, what I'm saying, where it would go. Where this, because the power, this is a crazy privilege, like a power, like free of will. He's the one that put that in us. That's why we're able to think and stuff. That's why Satan, before he became Satan, he was thinking, not always like, what is that, pure. He had to think on his own. So if he was thinking evil, that's up to him. That's the power of free will. Like that knowledge was actually stronger before when it first started, but then he starts to get diluted due to the lifetime of humanity and stuff, how it came to be, and how everybody is now, and everything, how everything just came to be, how everything created and stuff up to now. That's why it's been diluted. But before, the first time, it was powerful, bro. Like, if you think of something negative, that's up to you to dismiss it. You feel me? Now, let's say for instance, there's a cake, like this fire cheesecake that we all like sitting and just watching, and someone told us, if you don't eat this cake for 5 hours, right? For 5 hours straight, we was all starving. Not like starving to a point we dying, but we starving to a point like we craving anything that we see, right? And they say if we don't eat for 5 hours, right, that cake would give $5 million. Now we have a choice there. Now some of us might eat the cake, some of us won't. But that doesn't mean that we're all gonna be guaranteed to eat the cake because it's 5 hours, it's long, even though it's 5 million, or is we guaranteed to all wait because it's 5 million? That just depends on the person, because that's the power of free will. You feel me? Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
And so why would God punish you for making a decision, even though He is supposed to be all-knowing and all-powerful? Why would He then still test you if He knew that you were gonna fail?
That's the thing. Now, let's say, for example, right? You become a parent, right? You become a parent of your kid. Would you want to force your kid to do the right thing, even though you may try to influence it, which is fine?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, since God is all-knowing and is all-powerful, He would have known the outcome of the test. So there is no need to test your children. If you already know what's going to be the outcome, and you already know everything that is going to happen, and everything that will happen, why do you then still test?
And then punish them?
There's no reason to test, because you already know the outcome.
Okay, so I want to break it down a little bit.
It's like if you knew the answer to a problem, you wouldn't then write out the problem to solve it. You already know the answer to that.
That's true. But I'm gonna tell you right.
Then why would God do that if God is all-knowing and all-powerful? It's either the fact that God isn't all-knowing and all-powerful, or that God is truly a cruel person, because then He then punished people for doing the exact thing He knew that they were going to do.
Okay, so I'm gonna break this down real quick. Answering all those questions. For one of those questions you said, why does He punish them? And one of them you said, why does He let the test go on when He knows the outcome? So starting when I said earlier, right? When you raise a kid, if you choose to raise a kid, you already know the principles behind it and everything when coming to raising a kid, I'm pretty sure. So when you raise a kid, right, since you want to be a good parent or you want to reach that point, that means, right, there's going to be examples that needs to be taught, examples that needs to be shown. and need to let be in play, let it happen. You know, that's what examples are the best examples. That's how they form. You know, and since God gave not only humans, but you know, of course, angels as well, they exist, and Satan before he became that. He gave them too as well free the free of will, right? What?
I found the song, dude.
What song?
I found the song in the lyric I was looking for that I mentioned like 15 minutes ago.
Where'd you find it on?
Oh, it was just on YouTube. It was a Juice WRLD song. I knew that, but I forgot like what the name was. And then I looked on the wrong album for too long.
That's tough. That's what's up that you found it. That's a dub right there. W.
I'm about to kill myself.
But as I was saying though, Mikey, so you know how you want to give your kid an example. Like, it'll be like, okay, since I don't want to force them to do this, right? To do the right thing, and I understand if they keep this up, that it will lead to, you know, a dead end route. So how should I handle this without, you know, physically or forcing them, you know, feel like they're being forced, you know, because if he does that or tries to intervene into a test that they're being, you know, when someone's being tested and stuff, or, you know, due to the current situation, then he's going against the power of will. He's being contradictive. You feel me? That's like saying don't do this, but then you do it, but you told someone not to do it. That's hypocritical. You feel me? So that being said, like, what would you say? Go ahead.
You're missing the point that I was making. The point that I was making is that God is if he is all knowing, and he is all powerful.
Yeah.
He knew that's exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
He knew that.
He did.
It's not a it's not a test. It's not a lesson. That's like, okay, so you know your kid, right? You know your kid wants a cookie, right? We'll use the kid thing. You know that kid will eat a cookie. So then you set a test. You know that kid will end up eating the cookie, right? You know that's going to happen from the beginning. That is a cruel test, a cruel act to then place that cookie in front of that kid, and then knowing that kid will go after that cookie, and then punish him for eating that cookie.
Oh, okay, that's what you're saying.
That is a cruel test, because that means that you specifically set your children up for failure.
Okay.
Because you knew the outcome, and yet you still tried them and then proceeded to punish them for an outcome you already knew was going to happen.
Okay, that's what you're trying to say. All right. Now since you put in more details you added more details to that. Yeah, okay. All right. Let me let you know for one thing, God, he's pure love, like I said earlier. He's not the one setting the traps here. As you may well know, Satan exists. And you know what Satan is affiliates with. You know what he likes to do. It likes to dabble in with, which is negativity, right? Which is evil acts. So that being said, the one setting the traps is not God. He's not the one setting the traps. He's letting the test happen. Yeah, that's true.
He knew, though.
Yeah.
He created Satan, that was going to happen. If he's truly all-knowing, he knew when he created these things that these exact things were going to happen.
Well,
he knew when he created Satan that he was going to disobey him. He knew when he created humans that Satan was going to tempt him. He knew everything. He knew every one of these things.
Yeah, he did.
Truly all-knowing.
But
then
what?
In turn, why?
If he knew, then okay.
Why would you then purposefully set your children up like that?
Okay,
That's not a father that I would love. that is not a father that has a heart filled with love for me.
Yeah, what I was
That feels
saying.
like that feels like he's got it out for me.
What I was saying earlier is that he's not the one setting the traps though. God is not the one setting the traps. It's Satan is what I'm trying to say. Like Satan is the one behind these negativities. You feel me? And the reason why I said,
Oh yeah.
and I understand. We both know that we all know he knows everything. He knows it. Yes, we know that. That's not the point though. Because let's say he knows it, right? Okay, what do you think is the next move? He should just intervene. Is that what you feel like he should do?
No, I feel like he shouldn't put children up to a test.
He's not the one.
That they're gonna fail.
He's not the one putting them into a test, though. I'm saying
the Garden of Eden is
the reason why that they were thinking negative is because that was their choice. When I said put to the test, it's not like he's the one that made it. He's not the one that made the test. He's letting it happen. That's what it.
Garden of Eden, though.
Yeah, he did. Okay, let's say this. Yeah, he made the Garden of Eden. Okay, let's say we take the power of free will out. All right, let's take that. Get your the free will. Let's snatch that away. Okay, all right. So now you're never gonna be able to think how you want to think. Now you're gonna be able to only be moved and talking. Everything you do is by a press of a button or what he says and everything. Right? Was that the life you want? That's the option we can choose. Right? Yeah, he could give us the option of us never thinking of our own and always being robotic like and all that stuff. He knows everything, yeah. And he keep us intervene every single time to the point where we can't think on our own or nothing. Is that the option you would like to choose?
That's not the thing that I'm arguing.
No, I'm saying you arguing about you saying he putting people to the test, right? But I'm letting you know he's not the one that's making the test. He's letting it happen, which is you're saying that's not good. That's understandable.
He created the Garden of Eden.
He did.
He put the fruit of knowledge there.
Yeah.
He was the one that did that.
Yeah, but he's not the one
He was the one that created Lucifer. He was the one.
He didn't create
Lucifer to hell.
He didn't create Satan. He created the person the angel that became that. Satan wasn't Satan.
Actually, Lucifer and Satan are two different people.
I'm not talking about Lucifer. I'm talking about Satan though.
No. Lucifer was the one that tempted them. Satan is a different person. Satan's a prince of hell.
No. Those are all the same folks. Satan. There's only one Satan. There's no one father of evil. There's only one father.
Lucifer is not Satan though.
No, like Satan and Lucifer, I'm saying those are not like two different big like evil individuals.
There's princes of hell. There are the 괉ᴜᴇ, which is the princes of hell.
I'm talking about the leader. The leader of all of them
is Lucifer. He's the sin of pride. That's him. And that it was assigned to him by God because Lucifer's pride was what got him banished to hell. It was his own pride that did it to him. But what I'm trying to say is that he put a wrong answer in a test that didn't need one. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It was a test to where he knew that wrong answer was going to be chosen, and then proceeded to still put a wrong answer instead of letting us have our free will and be able to live with him in the Garden of Eden. Why then in turns test us?
Like I was saying earlier, this privilege, which is called free will, is very powerful, and he wanted to let us experience and see that how much we love him. You feel me? We are humans, obviously, and like I said, he loves us. He's the power of love. He wanted us to see a little bit of a perspective of a different perspective in life, like how important it is, how life is like in depth, and how important life is.
But why put you in put you in paradise to then strip it away from you, and then admonish you for making that choice that he knew you were gonna make.
That's like saying this, you know, the N word, right? How you were saying it was meant for like as king, right? Viewed as king.
Yes.
How did it become from king to a slur? It was meant to be king. No one forced it to be what you call, no one like made it into like a slur in the first place. It's not like an original thing, but someone turned it into that, right? So that being said, why did that person do that? Why did that person you know, try to twist the words and stuff? Why did he do that? Because of what?
Power over another.
But out of what though? What was that from? What was that source of that activity? Of the action? Malice?
Yes.
But it was from the power of what though?
Malice. That's hatred for one another.
Yeah, but who told him to do it?
Nobody.
Exactly.
He did it of his own volition. But,
Exactly.
So wouldn't that not be our fault then? Because if Lucifer told us to do it, then that's not our fault then, right?
No, you hold on.
Still admonished us, but okay, you're saying
The free of will though.
temptation. Yeah.
He chose to do it. That means we get to choose to respond to it in a you know, in certain different options. That doesn't mean we have to do it, right?
That we are forever skewed in God's favor. If he was the one that created us, the created are always going to be in more favor of the creator, because we would like to think of our creation as the best, as our creator has the most just values.
I mean, if he was...
So in general, you're gonna think that God is the most holy one, is the most loving, cares the utmost about us.
I mean...
just by default. But what I'm saying is that there are a lot of things that we can analyze about the Bible, and that God was truly a cruel person that changed later, and that recognized his sin and what he did wrong, and that realized that just like a parent, that the way that he was going about it was wrong. I'm not saying that God is a bad person or a bad being, but I'm also going to say that God wasn't always the best parent. And as a parent, I think he should take responsibility for the shit that he did.
Now, I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, like, you're saying, why would he put the garden, that evil tree, right? Not the evil tree, but the tree of the knowledge of the good and bad, which is, he told them not to eat that.
Why would he keep us dumb? Why would he keep us dumb and in his grasp, and tell us that we cannot seek knowledge?
Are we still
We can see
story, the metaphor story?
Yeah. I am arguing the point.
I'm not. We're not arguing. We're debating.
Bro,
Yeah.
it's a. This is just a metaphor. That story is literally just a metaphor.
Are you sure? If that's the case,
Oh my
then...
gosh!
It's not a
hold on.
story, but it is.
It's a metaphor.
If that's the case, then why is sin actual happening? Who we got sin from? Where does sin come from?
Original sin has always been a human nature thing.
It's always been in human nature.
It's a human concept.
Then how were Adam and Eve were perfect then? Or how...
They never was, because of free will. Because since we have free will,
there
they were
was
never
never an
perfect.
Adam or an Eve.
Yeah.
It literally,
It's a
there
story,
was
it's a
never
metaphor.
anything like that. It was a metaphor, and the point that I was making was that the metaphor can actually be interpreted differently. And
It has
a different meaning.
It has been interpreted
people see
actually,
it
but
people see it differently than other people.
Yeah, that is true. A lot of people do see it differently. Like, you know, for instance, you're saying it's a metaphor, as I view it as real. It actually did happen because what you call Adam and Eve, when they were born, they were perfect. You feel me? And that's how people were living longer back in the days. But it decreased as, you know, the years went by, because how humans were, you know, making some evil.
We actually have signs that show the opposite in like actual like physical tangible evidence that has been left behind, such as like skeletons. We can actually carbon date, and by the density of their bones we can actually tell how old they are.
And how old was
We can
Moses?
also, we have no body of Moses. We know a general area of where he might have been buried, but we don't know exactly where he was.
Jesus was real though for sure.
Yeah, Jesus has actual records showing that he was a real person, and that
And
yes, he was
he
put
was
to death.
perfect, right? He was perfect, right?
I don't think he was.
I
He
don't know.
definitely
I
was.
wasn't there. I wasn't there.
That's why we all
I do believe.
that we all the reason why we all still alive right now, or you know, the humans that are alive are still alive, you know, and not destroyed, the whole world's not destroyed, is because Jesus, he did a ransom joint, bro, for Adam, because Adam, he sinned when he did that, like you could say metaphor, right? When he ate that bad fruit, when he sinned, and we all inherited.
It was Eve that committed the first sin.
Yeah, but they both
Actually
sin. A
Eve
sin is a
then tempted Adam into doing it. So that's actually why a lot of people that believe that are also defending like very misogynist views, is because they blame women for original sin and shit.
what? That has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. They both sin, bro. They both sin. A sin is a sin.
That's a legitimate thing that people do, and it's
Those people are
It's a different religion than Catholics. So.
those people are delusional. Okay,
No,
we're all
I
gonna
know.
say it. We all know that.
And
Those are delusional.
I'm not telling Goom that he is wrong for believing these things, or wrong for holding these ideals. I think each person should have their own, and that he is completely valid for wanting to believe these things. I just know that when we talk about this, it is a agree to disagree basis.
Yeah, it's not.
As
It's not
long
an
as-
argument, you know.
as long as we're not getting angry at each other, I have no problem in talking about this with them.
This is I never like to argue, anyways, and so that's why when I hear some people say we're arguing, I'm like, no, we're not. We're not arguing. We're debating.
No.
But I understand what you're saying, because these views, not because other people look at the same views as you, some people that look at the same views as you, but the fact is that you know, I'm saying it's reasonable. There's, like I said, you know, some good evidence of some things you were saying, which can correlate to what I was talking about. You know, that's why I was saying I understand what you're saying.
I've read the Bible cover to cover.
You did?
In a lot of this, yes, I have read multiple translations of the Bible cover to cover.
Do you remember some of it, or?
Yes, I remember almost all of it, because I have a lot of these conversations, because I love to debate about the Bible, especially when people don't understand their own religion. I think it's funny.
I have a quick question. So since that's the case, I want to share with you my favorite scripture, but I don't want to say it. I want to see if you know it, if you came across it. It's 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
Have you read that? I mean, came across that?
I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Okay, I can read it to you. It says, so I take pleasure. Oh, go ahead. What was you gonna say?
Translation of the Bible is this?
This is the New Testament. I can. You
Well,
want to know
I
the
know
old?
it's the New Testament, but which translation, what version of the Bible is this?
Oh, this is the.
Because I know different translations have different, like they have different
Yeah,
lineups, they have different chapters, they have different verses because the amount of verses differ.
that's true.
So you have to tell me the amount, like the version of the Bible that you're quoting this from.
How about this? Which one do you have? Which version? I can go to that one and say it too.
The New King James I've read through cover to cover,
Okay.
and then I've also read through the German translation from the 1800s.
Okay. Can I do King James or which one you want me to do? German or which one you want me to?
Do King James. The
Okay.
German one's the one that actually has the real translation behind the quote from the Bible in I forgot which book it is, but it's the one where it's no man should lay with a younger man, but in the American version it changed to no man should lay with another man because homophobes.
Wait,
So,
what scripture is
in
that?
actuality,
Wait, what scripture is that?
that's early on in the Bible. I think it's one of the first 4 books of the Bible, which is where it is highly homophobic.
I'm gonna check that out. We'll see. Oh, but the one I was talking about, the King James version of it says, "Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, and necessities, in persecutions." And I'll just do this. How about this? I'll let the person read it, because I mean, if they have it, let me see. No, they don't have it. I'll just read it again then. "Therefore I take pleasure in infirmities, in reproaches, in necessities, in persecutions, in distresses, for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong." Have you heard that one before?
Mm-hmm. For I am weak. Yeah. No.
Now that one,
I've heard that one quoted a lot. Yeah.
yeah, that one hits home. And then there's another one here that let me see. I'm gonna look at King James version too. It's that one. See. All right, so I actually would like this one. This actually was speaking to the ones we was just talking about, the delusional folks that thinks that what you were saying earlier. This right here will speak to them right here. It says, hold on, let me translate it. I forgot to translate it. It says, man, this stuff done changed crucially. Let me go back to it. All right, there we go. "The misogynist individuals, likewise." Yeah, why is it doing that? Let me go change it
Part
back.
of the reason I used to read the Bible all the way through is because I wanted to learn why God hated gay people so much. That's part of my reason for reading it. And I know you're gonna go on the whole tangent behind like why no, God doesn't hate gay people, it's the people that did it to themselves.
No, it's
I don't
not.
really care. I just know that God if he did, he made me this way, and it's kind of fucked up.
I understand what you mean, and how you feel about that. But as the gatherings that the informations that I've gathered in the Bible, yeah, he does not hate gay people, and it's not per se what you call, because they're this who they are and their identity or what they choose. Is because his principles. He has certain principles, and for it to be what is that, applied, you have to go through other principles, like other steps that may prohibit those activities that everybody else does. And that's how it's like it's a narrow road in life, because like you get guaranteed of achieving like your inner peace and your inner, you know, like
All I know that was guaranteed at the time for gay people in Catholic communities was a suicide rate in the 95 percentile. That's all I knew as a kid.
you said in churches? Hold on, you say that again?
No, there is an actual percentage of people that are gay that were raised in Catholic and Christian households have a suicide rate in the 95th percentile.
It's probably because
95 out of 100 kids that are gay and that were raised in a Catholic household killed themselves, is what that means.
it's probably because how their parents went about it, you know, or whoever took care of them went about it. They didn't went about it the appropriate manner, and I feel like they didn't take the actual route that should have been taken. They took a route that was, you know, not part of the principles, is what I was saying. And
it took the Catholic Church 2,021 years to recognize gay unions and to say stop hating on gay people, basically.
As far as Catholic goes, I mean, I've heard a lot about it, but I don't really dabble in it. Like,
there are still a lot of Christian denominations that still have open homophobia.
Yeah, there's Christians that do that. This is what I'm saying again. Like, for instance, right? It'd be like, for instance, let's say a group of folks, right? Or let's say, for instance, you in class and your teacher says we'll be able to watch a movie and have a movie night and snacks today. If you guys all, you know, do your work and stay quiet for like 30 minutes. 30 minutes was going, and then somebody was folded, somebody sold, and not everybody gets that punishment. How would you feel?
Just one person, though.
Hmm?
It wasn't one person.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I'm making an example of like how one person can multiply. It can be a trend effect. It could be a couple people. Like it usually starts when something starts collapsing. It starts from within. You know what I'm saying? It's an inside job. So, you know what I'm saying? This bound for that for a lot of situations. It's gonna happen like that because, you know, there's gonna be folks like that just have that mindset. And to be honest, you can't really change them. You can't change nobody because, like I said, free will. You can't change them. You know, so they're gonna do that, and we're gonna have to like drop them off. You know, send them.
I still run into highly Christian, highly Catholic people that still hate gay people, even now.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of those folks that claim to do to be like to say they're this, but they do other stuff. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of folks like that, and those folks can't be trusted.
Have anyone considered that it wasn't God that said he hated gay people? Just it was the person who wrote in the Bible that
I did.
God hated people, because like it wouldn't make sense if God is, because it would be more of like a personal attack on the gay community instead of God saying it, because that.
But still, knowing that if God made me, why the fuck did he put me down here? Knowing that there were a bunch of fucking assholes that were still gonna be like that.
Like I said, we all have free will, and we, you know, everyone, all of us suffer. All of us. That doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound nice in a way.
I understand you want those individuals
suffering
to stop acting wild, but like,
if I were to come out to them, they would fucking kill me.
I understand.
And I resent the fuck out of every organized religion because of it. It takes a lot in me to not be like automatically hating on organized religion. It does.
To me, how I view things,
because I've had a lot of really bad personal experiences with them.
Yeah, I understand. I understand how you feel.
And Goom, I mean this in the best way possible. I don't think you do.
But the thing is, though, I've dealt with racism. You feel me? Racism kind of feels the same way. You get treated like bad and stuff. And I dealt with people that actually were the same color as me. You feel me? That called me African booty scratcher and stuff and hurted me and stuff. I understand how you feel. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying lightly. You feel me? When I say I understand how you feel, I understand how you feel.
Your
You
whole
know?
family.
Like people threatened me, bro. I had a whole school like trying to make me as a bad person. You feel me? Every day they would try to harm me and stuff. You know, and I have to deal with that.
Honestly,
You
before
feel me?
we go on, I'm gonna just shut up, right, and not speak further on this situation and go to sleep. So I bid you all a farewell and good night.
All right, cool. For sure, for sure. Good night, man.
Walking Dead.
But yeah, I was saying, you know, I understand, bro. Trust me. I've been through that toxic environments on a daily. You feel me?
But at least your own family members don't hate you because you're black.
My family members
My
torture
own
me.
family fucking hates me for something that is completely out of my control. Completely.
I understand that, but the same thing with me. You're saying my family doesn't hate me, but I'm letting you know, bro. I'm in the first line of that in my family. I literally get treated with a lot of disrespect too. It's like my siblings as well. They get treated disrespect. Like it's out of pocket. We get, you know, that A word, the ABUSE. You know, we get that. Like we literally get that all the time. Trust, bro. Like literally, I understand your viewpoint is not overlooked, and it's definitely.
I had a gun held to my head, telling me over and over that you're straight, you're not gay, you're doing this for attention. You stop this shit now before I put a fucking 9mm into your fucking brain. You stop that right now.
And that's why I say we're in the winning side, bro. That's why I exactly say we're on the winning side, because when we suffer more than a lot of other folks, that's because they know we're doing something good. We actually content with ourselves, and they don't like that. That's why I be telling you, like, guys, like, these people don't like themselves. They have a Naruto scene, bro. You know what I'm saying? They don't like themselves, so that's why they project that stuff. They project that negativity and that darkness to people that, you know, succeeded in being content with themselves. So that's why, you know what I'm saying, the winning side suffers the most. And that's why I'd be like, even though they do that, you know what I'm saying, it's going to make you the stronger person, and we would not be on the losing side. They're the ones on.
Stronger person, bro.
I understand.
For once in my life, I don't want to be the stronger person. I want to just sit back and fucking relax, dog.
Yeah, I understand, but that takes time. You feel me? Patience is definitely key, bro. I understand, but trust me, patience is key. I lived through that, bro. I lived through the craziness.
For 18 years, dog.
I understand. 18 years, that's a long time.
Before I could take this. The last 6 years of my life have been worse than any other year.
It's no doubt it is tough. It's a tough situation for sure. It's not something to be taken lightly.
It's just, I'm sorry for what I said earlier. I got emotional.
It's understandable, you know.
I'm tired, bro.
It happened.
I'm done being the big person. I hate being an 18-year-old having to be the bigger person for people that literally gave birth to me. Like, I don't like that.
It doesn't have to be that.
Right.
You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be a bigger person for someone else. Be a bigger person for yourself. You're living to elevate yourself and to, you know, become the best version you can possibly be to the best of your abilities. And that takes, you know what I'm saying, some sweat, blood, and tears, which is happening, you know, and that it's understandable that how you feel that way as well. But you know what I'm saying? Like I said before, these folks, we can't change them. And the best way to handle is the way you're doing it right now, which is keep that fighting going on. You know what I'm saying? Keeping it pushing, because you got a strong mental than them. That's why that they're attacking you. They attack the people that you already are strong, bro. You don't need to say I don't want to become stronger at the you're already at that point. It's just that you got to maintain it, and that takes effort, and you're committing to that effort, which is you're doing the, you know what I'm saying? Usually when you're going, like when you feel like you're done, you want to just want to stop and everything. That's when you know what I'm saying, you elevate. That's when you start to elevate. I seen it. I'm letting you know. I seen a lot of things, but I seen people transform. I seen people go through a lot. Understand exactly, like, these people, it's not easy living. That's why I be saying it's not easy living in general. Surviving is tough. It's a tough task already on its own. That's like a main mission right there. Let alone the side missions. That's tough. That's tough as well. It has its own tough situations. But just the main quest itself is tough as well, man. The mindset is not easy to like maintain, and like, try to mold it into where you be able to, handle your or be able to complete your achievements that you want to do in life, whatever that is. That takes time, patience, feel me? And once you fulfill, you're gonna look back, like they told me, you're gonna look back and be like, dang, man, so I'm so glad that I kept it pushing, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like a new person, elevated version.
I haven't, like, you don't get to be a kid. And I get jealous of, like, my friends that have, like, that don't have to deal with this shit.
Mm-hmm.
They get to be immature. They get to be, like, they get to have their fun.
They get to sleep good. Something I haven't experienced for probably decades plus. Same thing for you. Pretty much same thing for a couple other people in here too. Which is very tough.
I haven't slept over 5 hours in the last fucking 7-8 years of my life. Just because I'm constantly afraid of my parents coming into my room. Because I've had my dad just come in and beat the fuck out of me. For no other reason than the fact that it amused him.
Both of them did that?
My dad did. My mom would just sit and scream at me.
Yeah, they definitely that accountability. I forgot to say that accountability is powerful as well, and it definitely came with free will as well. It came with a bundle. They definitely,
Package deal.
exactly. They definitely got what's coming for them if they're gonna keep them devious acts up. You know. No, like, also let me share with you the scripture. You might know this was. I'm reading King James version for the people that like us that suffer the most. I'll show you. I have one for the mom and for the mothers, and I have one for the fathers. I'm gonna read the mothers stuff real quick. Let's find it. Let's see. I have a lot of them. Okay, there you go. It's Proverbs chapter 14, verse 1. Let me read the King James version. It says, "Every wise woman buildeth her house."
Show me this one.
But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. And where's the guy one? Let me find the father one. I actually want to read this one too. This one's like not parents, but it's just basically for anyone that's being devious. Let me find it.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
it
just
is.
have a lot of pent up emotion. I let my fucking shit crack.
Nah, listen. This is exactly why God made people made humans with love and those traits, because this is the thing too. I'm gonna speak more about it, but I'm just saying a little quick thing. God gave us a lot of abilities that if we tap into it, we'll be able to, like, he wants us to fight Satan too. 'Cause that's the thing too. Like when that whole thing started, you know, that whole situation, the enemy, the real enemy here, even the folks that act bad, the real enemy here is actually Satan. But he's sabotaging a lot of, people and making them fight against each other and stuff. But I don't want to get too deep into that yet. I want to get to this, what I'm saying about these people.
I guess the point that I want to argue at, not really argue, kind of point to, is the fact that, like, I don't really think Satan is to blame for all of our issues. Is kind of like my, I guess is like my, the thing that I kind of wanted to say was kind of just the fact that he most likely wanted to be like God in his own hubris, and so therefore wanted to have humans be more in his image, and it wasn't out of malice, but he did it to spite God.
He wanted to take.
Is at least my take on that.
He wanted to take his spot. Like, he wanted God's spot. He wanted people to worship him. That was out of pocket.
Oh yeah. But I also think that Satan doesn't hate people.
No, I wouldn't say.
I don't think he's all bad either. I think he does what he thinks is good. But a lot of what he thinks is good isn't what God thinks is good.
True.
So when we view things through the lens of as what the church deems to be good and bad, and as a person that's been on the side that they've considered to be bad, I guess I become more sympathetic to Satan due to me being misunderstood. So maybe he just had a different way of going about it. Not saying that his is the correct way, but maybe his intentions are good. He just goes about it in the complete wrong way.
I can see that. I mean? I can see that viewpoint, but the reason why I'm about to say this, the reason why I disagree, not fully, but when you went to comparing yourself with Satan, like saying that you're misunderstood, there's a difference. You're misunderstood. He's not misunderstood, because his full intentions was like on the table. He wanted to, to sabotage Adam and Eve. He wanted to sabotage them. There was no threat around Satan before Satan was Satan. There was no threat around him. There was nothing that was leading him to thinking that I want to sabotage these people. I want to start selling. I want to become a professional salesman as my main career, But he did that on his own. And I feel like that's where the misunderstood gets thrown out the window. because this dude literally, he's sabotaging people like you. Like, he's the reason why a lot of folks are misunderstood. Literally, he is sabotaging a lot of people. Not only like big groups, he's sabotaging, like, like every events, anything he can get his hands on. But the thing is,
I
what was you gonna say?
I and I get where you're coming from, but I also, if we're gonna go down the free will argument, he can't really tempt us to do much because everybody's very hyper aware of Satan. So I don't really believe that he's the source of all human suffering. I think humans are the cause of all human suffering, and that we use Satan as a scapegoat to explain away all of the things that humans have done wrong.
That's
Maybe that we've gotten wrong. We can't blame Satan for our hubris.
that is not what I was trying to.
But like, which you said that, like, it might not have been what you were saying, but like that's the way it sounded. Like you were trying to, like, the way it sounded was that Satan is the one that is causing all of these issues.
He's the one that
And
developed.
I don't believe that.
He developed the what you call. Let's say what's that? Let's say for instance, someone like, let's say a chef. We have a chef, right? We in a restaurant, and the chef is cooking in the kitchen, right? And we smell the food that they're cooking, and that stuff smells like spontaneous. It smells fire, right? So we can kind of tell, by the smell, like what's in there a little bit. You feel me? We can give a little hint, like a little scent thrown in our way. That's what he did, but in a more fouler, what you call it, smell, and stronger stench, to the point everybody smells it. And some folks might choose to like that stench. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Everyone has their preference. Like, if they choose to do that, that's their choice. Now, whatever comes with that decision they made, they have to, prepare themselves to deal whatever that comes with that, because everything that we do, everything that we like, as long as we're living, Satan is gonna keep throwing stuff at us. He's gonna keep throwing like negativity until we drop, because he's angry. He's mad.
Why is he angry?
He's mad because
he angry at humans. That is.
He's not angry only at humans. He's angry at well, he's not angry at humans as his main thing. He's mainly angry because he didn't get his way. But he is mad at the humans that's not that's not breaking. You feel me? The ones that's not giving in to his temptation. That will lead to sabotage.
Temptations, but I also don't view him as an all evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's understandable. If that's how you view him, that's okay. That's how you view him. But I'm just letting you know what he did. This is straight up evidence. You can see all these negativities. That's the influence is strongly because of him. But I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that these people are, the humans are not to have a good amount of blame on there. Yeah, they. Accountability, like I always say, accountability. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what accountability means. It means that you reap what you sow. So that being said, you know what I'm saying? That man Satan, as everything he did, based off everything he did and his viewpoints on life and everything, I see him as a threat and an evil person. I mean, not person, evil individual. And pretty much a lot of other folks too, like a lot of other billion folks think the same. But I'm just saying all based off what he did, and that's why I'm just saying that's how evil. That's the definition of evil. If that's not the definition of evil, I don't know what is. I'm just saying.
I don't.
I'm just
I don't
saying.
know. Like, I get what you're saying. I get that. I don't know if it's just me, or like I don't believe that there is a true evil, and that if I'm gonna be honest, if God really is the person he says he is, he wouldn't, like, anything that he created couldn't be evil. Because there wouldn't be any evil if God created everything. Because
True.
if God is all good, there couldn't be any evil.
And that's
There
where
could be misunderstood actions, but there could not be any truly evil things.
when you said he created everything, I would like to say that I assure you that's 100% not true. He didn't create 100% everything because, like I said, there's bad things in this world. So that definitely means that he didn't create everything. Because he is the source of 100. Yeah, it's true. He is the source. And like you said if he is that, if that's the case, then everything he created shouldn't be evil. That's true. So if that's the case, then that means that Satan has something to do with it, right? That didn't, like, I'm not saying that he forced or pressed a button, but he did some heavy influence. People can heavy influence, like what happened to you, right? Like the man, that goofy dude, he pointed a weapon at you, trying to say this out of pocket disturbing things, and negativity. You feel me? That was a heavy influence that could have potentially led to something crazy. But since you handled it the way you did, you know what I'm saying, that strong mental saved you and probably elevated you and you didn't know it. Sometimes it happens. A lot of us, it happens to the best of us. We elevate ourselves. We didn't catch up yet. It didn't hit us yet. You feel me? Yeah, we hit later. That's how it always does. It hit different for each person. That's why we always say it hit different, because it does, the same thing could hit different for each individual, just at a certain time, and it just depends.
I guess I just don't view Satan's actions as actual tangible things. And it mainly probably is because I'm an atheist, but I don't view his actions as having any actual tangible effect on the earth. And so therefore I don't believe that he has any influence in temptation. And I argue specifically from the point of view that since in all reality, I do not believe there is a God.
Okay.
I will only argue and can only argue from the point of view that there is none. And that any subsequent argument that I have might not yield the greatest results due to me not really believing in a God to begin with.
I always forget.
I'm
Oh, go
arguing
ahead.
from I'm arguing from a scripture / like that point of view, because I've only analyzed Christianity / Catholicism from the book's perspective, because that's all I can do, because I don't actually believe in it. You know what I mean? So what you're saying could be completely valid and have 150 million different correct ways of being interpreted. I just won't really be able to understand them, maybe, and I don't think you'll probably be able to understand mine, because we're arguing from two different points of view that conflict with each other's ideals. I think that's why we're butting heads a lot with a lot of the things that we see, because as I might view Satan as a misunderstood person because of my experience with the Catholic Church and knowing how ruthless the the Christian slash Catholic teachings can be towards misunderstood and underrepresented people. And since Satan is very underrepresented and very overshadowed, it could very well be, as it was for me, that maybe he's just misunderstood and is just underrepresented because of the fact that he was demonized.
Wait, you say?
You know what I mean? It's like shutting a guy out of the house without letting him speak up for himself, and constantly hearing from the person that doesn't like him who that person is.
The thing
You're
is,
not actually hearing it from his point of view, which is why I don't view him as a bad person, because I don't originally put my trust in the mouth that it's being spoken from.
that's
Where you do, where that's completely valid, and you have every right to take the scriptures / Bible's word from what it is. I think I fundamentally have a different point of view because of the fact that I don't take everything at face value. I choose to be very skeptical when it comes to things like that.
oh, I'm skeptical too. I didn't come in here.
No,
I didn't.
I'm not saying that you're not. I'm saying that fundamentally, I think our arguments are different because of the different ways that we look at the Bible.
Oh, okay.
Where
I
you
see.
would look at it and see you would see teachings and you would see faith and you would see things to be taken literally. I see it as a collection of stories and ways of living that are good, and they're good in practice, which is why Catholicism has gotten so popular. It's not, I don't view it in the same way as you do, and I'm not disrespecting your faith, and I'm not trying to say that your faith is any less valid than what I believe in, because I don't think that. I think people that think like that are dumb. But I think our arguments will always conflict with each other because we come from two different points of view. And I think that's why we butt heads a lot when we talk about things. And I think that's why each of us repeat our arguments a lot, even though the other one's not really entirely getting it. Even though we're being respectful of each other, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, and I know you're not trying to be disrespectful. So I think we're just having a common misunderstanding. You know what I mean?
I mean, the thing is, though, I understand what your viewpoint, and when I was trying to add to, not add, but when you was saying, I understand how you feel about your views and stuff, but I was just saying, I was sharing the thing is about him
You're sharing
being
the way you look at it.
yeah, that too, but I also I feel like for instance, right? You know the saying, what's self-explanatory don't need to be explained. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
So when it comes to saying, I mean, he's literally has all the stage to himself right now. Like God, God and Satan, they had it. Was Satan challenged God, and God was okay. Since you feel like you want to rule and you feel like you're better than me, I'm gonna set an example to show people that that are with me here, which is the angels and pretty much everybody else, which is the humans as well. I would set example as when you know what I'm saying, make decisions that can sabotage yourself. Like, just because you have free will doesn't mean that you will get away with sabotagery. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, accountability is a bundle. It's not free will never come without accountability. So that being said, even if you are an angel or a powerful being or have some status of this and that, accountability is still on your head as well, you know? And
No, yeah.
as for Satan, since he was sabotaging people, harming people intentionally, it literally is evidential. If
When did he intentionally harm somebody?
like, I'm not talking about physical wise, I'm talking about like, you know, what's it called, like on the emotionally and mentally state. Like I said, when he influencing
But how
a
can
level.
you prove that that's Satan and not just our own free will playing into our own hands and causing our own downfall? Or do we choose to blame it on Satan because it makes us more comfortable?
If you think that I'm saying 100% is his fault, I didn't say that. I'm like I said earlier, I'm not trying to say 100%.
No. But like I would like for you to point out to me specifically
The influences.
where we knew it was Satan. Like let's say this is a trial, right?
Mm.
Right, where we'll put Satan on trial. Satan is now on trial for causing sins and tempting people into sinful behavior. When can we directly prove that he did that?
Why?
Or are we saying that he did as an excuse for our own sinful behavior because it makes us feel better when we can blame it on somebody else, because then the responsibility is removed from us?
The response.
I'm also taking into account the fact that people have free will, right? People have free will. They also have tools of trickery. Whether that is good or bad or whatever you want to consider it, we have the ability to deceive and lie.
And where did that come from?
We wanted to say that it was Satan and that Satan was the one that caused this and Satan was the one that tempted us. Wouldn't that make us sound a lot better?
To blame Satan? Is
Yeah,
what you're saying?
to use Satan as a scapegoat because it makes us sound better. I mean, if
Personally, I don't think it's an scapegoat because you're not finna escape from your accountability, you know? So if I'm not
Okay.
an influence, like I said, influence doesn't hold a power to effect where, like I said, it would press a button. That's why I said that free will is powerful, which we all know, but the accountability as well. That's why it comes in a bundle. Accountability is what counters for people that, yeah, they have free will when they do something that's out of pocket and they know it, or they see that the outcome, they probably won't be able to live with it if they do get caught, whatever that is, and then they do it and then they get caught and get mad and stuff. Like, you can go ahead and blame Satan. Yeah, he did influence a lot of that, but influence is just an influence at the end of the day. It's not a press of a button where you forcefully have to do it, no matter how you like it or not.
He influenced that.
Where did negativity come from then?
If you're making the claim that he influenced it, you have to back it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have
So
to provide evidence for how he's influencing it, and if it's not just human action, you know what I mean? Like, are we blaming Satan for our own actions? Or are we actually, like... Because what it sounds like, to me at least, is the fact that we are just blaming Satan because it makes us feel better. Because if it's not my fault, then that means that I'm not a bad person for doing these things. And if I put the blame on something that is completely out of my control, I remove a part of that accountability. Because then the accountability is not all on me. Now it's spread between two people. So it makes me look less bad.
okay, let's say this for instance, right? I'm not talking about when I blame Satan, right, for the influence. Like, I'm not talking about, let's say, for instance, this person harms this individual, like hurts them to a point where they go to the hospital and stuff. I'm not saying that Satan, this is all because of Satan. If he didn't do anything, that this would never happen. I'm not saying that because it has to have, it's half of it is that individual's fault as well. But I'm saying, like, for instance, you know how people think negative of themselves, right? Like, for instance, how you be like, oh man, I can't do this or this, or man, these people are right and all that. Guess who's influenced that? Guess who's fueling it? Yeah, but guess who's why you think?
That's being influenced by me. That is entirely me.
So you're saying that
That is entirely my fault that I'm thinking this way. Yes.
You came up with all that negativity just by yourself. No one influenced you. No one did none of that. You came up with that.
Entirely me. Yep.
So no one.
I can actually tell you the exact times that I did actually.
So no one
started building resentment for myself. Yes.
No one said not any negativity, not even one negativity towards you, like towards you, face to face.
There have been people that have said things to me, but I usually, because of the way I was raised and how I grew up, I'm not really that affected by other people. What really fucks me up is when I start believing those shitheads. But that is mainly me. I am the one that is building the negativity around me.
If you were, then how?
I am truly in control of who I am and where I'm at in my life. Because if I give Satan that much control over my life, then he's going to take that much control over my life. And for you, that would be bad, right? So if you're giving him the ability to influence your life, you're going to give him that power over you. Because you're giving him the acknowledgement of he has an influence over you. So if you just outright deny him that ability, you're outright denying him his ability to affect you. Is what I'm trying to say. Is like when you give him that power over you and you're giving him that right of influence, you are therefore allowing him to influence you, and you're removing your own self-control when you should take hold of your own humanity and take hold of your own decisions and make your own decisions instead of placing part of the blame on something else. Because then when you take responsibility for your actions and your own thoughts and don't place your own thoughts and your negative feelings on something else, you're truly in power of everything that you have.
Okay, I understand, and there's some truth to what you were saying, a good amount of it, but there's big parts of it that were actually different for what I was about to say, which is you were saying that the influencing, right? How it's not that if it's not that.
I'm arguing from your point of view. Like,
oh, my point of view is influence. It holds a good amount, even though free will is the powerful. Free will is more powerful, yeah, but influence could hold a good amount. Because look, you say you were raised, right? If you what you called wasn't you saying influence in any kind of way, you know what I'm saying, especially when it comes to negativity, then how were you raised then? How was you even raised? Because to be raised, you got to be influenced by, certain things or some things so it can mold whatever you choose to
allow influence over me.
Yeah, you were raised, right?
Literally that I was raised not to let people have influence over me.
Yeah, and that what does raised mean though? It means you were influenced by something or someone, right?
I taught myself these things because I didn't want people to harm me. It was a protection.
You taught yourself?
Yes.
I have a
lot of things.
I have a hard time like believing that because when you're a baby, you got to be taught something to the basic things at least.
I was taught a lot of bullshit things that I shouldn't.
See, you were taught, right?
I was taught a lot of bullshit things that I wasn't supposed. Like I definitely wasn't it wasn't good for me.
Yeah, you didn't want to believe it, which is fine, and some of it probably is, what you were saying, bull crap and stuff. But it was influenced towards you, to you. It was like
No,
what's called.
not really.
But they were literally taught. If they were saying like influence, basically, we all know the definition of influence, meaning telling you something from their like point of view, like making it like forcing
You
it.
have to then in turn let that influence in.
Which is it did, right?
It's not a matter of. But you're mistaking my wording.
No, because look, you say you raised by, like you say, you taught yourself. Listen, like you
Yes.
taught yourself to what's it called? Not deal with people that says foolish
So-
stuff, right?
If what I'm hearing, from you, right, is the fact that Satan is ever present in every single facet of my life, and that is constantly over me, tempting me in every single way. Do you know how? And I'm saying this with all due respect, because you do deserve a lot of respect for maintaining this conversation and being a good person. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds? That Satan is ever present in my life, and that is constantly following me around, and every other person in the world,
Mm-hmm.
he is ever present in their lives, constantly tempting them over every little thing that they do and every little influence in their life.
Factuals, yes.
That is no.
The reason why I say that is because he's a spirit creature. You know what spirit creatures are capable of?
Because that's not that might be what you believe, but that's not what I believe, and that's not what I believe to be true. That might be what you believe to be true, but that's not what I believe.
That's fine. But do you know what spirit creatures?
I will say this though. Not once have I ever not been the fault for one of my thoughts. Not
That's
once
fine.
have I ever been out of control, or other people have then in turn made me worse.
Thing that no one influenced you, what like I was saying earlier. You said no, right?
Yeah.
Just to confirm. Okay, so when, like I said earlier, right, and to add on to the accountability, for another reference for that is cause and effect. So
Yeah.
Somebody that was around your vicinity caused, you know what I'm saying, some negativity, which was you was around.
It's up to you to choose whether or not that influence plays over on you.
That's fine.
Influence
That's
doesn't
true.
just directly go onto you. You have to let it be there.
How about this?
That is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
The specifics of your argument.
I
I am saying that I don't let that take hold.
I'm saying that there's times where you can't, bro. I'm sorry, but you can't control it. You can't control everything in your life. Like, for instance, how you feel tired. Can you control yourself from being not tired? I'm saying, that type of influence.
No, but I can damn try.
Yeah, you could try, which is fine. But, there's influence, like the cause and effect. That type of influence, it might not get you directly in your mindset, with decisions you make, depending on the person, but it will influence, you know what I'm saying, and lead to something negative. That's why you were you had that experience, that bad experiences. You feel me? That's how anyone had those bad experiences, because of that situation. But there's factors like accountability, like you were saying, we both were saying. You feel me? But like, you can't control yourself from not being tired. You can't just be full health sentinel being. You feel me? It's impossible. That's the type of influence I'm talking about. Those influences, yeah, it can't make you demand a certain decision, but it can influence that pretty good, depending on the person. And guess what? The reason why I say it's evidential, because look what's going on right now. They're falling for the trap. It's you feel me? Like, not saying the ones that like that were already like disabled. Those ones don't count, of course. Those ones, they really can't even control how they think, because the nerve system is just collapsed, and just certain things that you just can't handle, like, it's out of human's control. But the ones that I'm talking about that can function like us, you know, that can go to work or do this and that, can get up and function. Those individuals that be folding, yeah, it's their part, is a big part of their accountability. That's their part. But at the same time, that influence, where did it come from? It can't just come from them, because they would have never done that. You feel me? They would have never folded.
Personal responsibility, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true, but it's not 100%. The influence comes to play. That's what I'm saying. You feel me?
I think it's 100% a human responsibility. I
For
believe that every person is 100% responsible for their choices.
I understand.
That you shouldn't make excuses like blaming Satan for being a omnipresent force in somebody's life. Like that is literally, if we want to go back to using Satan as a scapegoat, that is the perfect scapegoat. He is omnipresent in your life. He is constantly tempting you. He never gives up, and he is so hellbent on tempting you to do bad things that eventually he's gonna get you, and you're gonna make a bad choice. But then you have that scapegoat as Lucifer to be like, well, this person actually was tempting me, and it was actually his fault. Like, you see what I mean? Like, that is
Yeah, but I didn't say nothing about eventually though.
if you're using him as a scapegoat, that's the perfect fucking scapegoat.
Like I said, I'm not using him as an scapegoat. I'm just saying, like, for the people that do use him as a scapegoat, that's their
I'm saying that, like, you are still using him as a scapegoat by giving him 50% of the control over everybody's life. You're saying that he's always there, he's always tempting you, and he's always making bad things happen around you to make you into a bad person.
Okay. The reason why I say this, the reason why I say that is because, look, right, I'm not saying that he's, obviously we both know that, I'm not saying he's 100% the fault, and no, I'm saying that influence he throws at us, yeah, it is. And you could say it's a scapegoat, but let's say this: if you had an option to be your best friend or your worst enemy, what would you choose for yourself? If you had an option to be your best friend or your worst enemy, what would you choose? A or B?
It would be mine to choose.
Yeah, but what would you choose? I'm asking.
Why?
Because I'm gonna lead to the reason why I said those things. That's why I'm asking you, what would you choose if you had an option to be your best friend or your worst enemy? What would you choose?
Neither. I'd rather not know myself.
Are you sure you don't want to be your best friend? Is that not why? That's not the worth of living. That's not the reason to live. Is to live in,
I
like,
never said I didn't want to be my best friend, but I also never said I didn't want to be my worst enemy either.
But you have to answer one of those questions. But that's not part of the option, though.
I did an answer. I did. I chose my answer.
No, I would have added. No,
I would choose to not know myself.
Yeah, but I'm asking, like, this is scenario of an option. Like, you have to choose those two. You can't just, if I added it, then yeah. But those two options, right? Because that's the options that's happening right now. You can choose to be your.
Happening right now.
It is with people. You have an option to be.
Isn't black and white like that, my guy.
I'm not saying it's black and white. I'm not saying it's black and white like that. I'm saying you have an option to either choose that route. Is going to be both routes is tough, obviously.
In
But
life, why wouldn't you have more than just two answers? There's always more than two answers for any question.
yeah, but
Why limit it?
because
Why limit it to two questions if you're not trying to drive somebody to a specific answer? You're
because
straw manning me, and I know I know this argument. Like, I know where this leads.
no, I'm not trying to make you choose. The A or make you choose B. Is one of them you will have to choose, because in life those are the only two options. I'm letting you know. I'm not saying it in a vague, obviously not a vague, black and white, but I'm just putting it in a grand scheme, just in a
Choose to
bigger.
either. You don't have to criticize yourself, but you also don't have to praise yourself.
That's
There is
that
a
means
third
it's-
option.
that means that's humble, which is falls into what the worth of living, right? Because being humble is someone that's being like wanted to better themselves and elevate even though the situation like negativity and stuff arises.
I choose not to praise myself, but I also don't admonish myself a lot.
That doesn't mean that that it would be neither though. The thing when you say neither, how does that make sense though? It does not. There's no details. That's
Because
vague right
it
there. It
means
sounds
that
like
it means that I don't like. Okay, neither means that I am neither my best friend nor my fucking worst enemy. I am simply in my life, I see myself as the person that is just around.
that sounds kind of like you know not only vague, but now that sounds like someone that's not motivational with their craft, which is that's not true because you told me about your craft and stuff, and there is motivation behind that. So what you're saying is not making sense to me. Is what I'm saying.
But you're also here's the issue. You're removing personal choice when you use Satan as a scapegoat. And I know you're saying that you're not using him while giving him 50% of the blame / responsibility.
I'm not giving it. He
sinful
took it.
behavior.
He's the one that wanted that. I'm not
But-
giving it to him.
But you can choose not to by taking self-responsibility for each of the actions.
So you want me to look at him as a
If I-
friend? Is that
I
what
wouldn't
you?
say as a friend, just as a person that has no influence over you. He's like a work friend. He's somebody you talk to on occasions when you have to, but if you don't have to, then don't.
He's more like a government.
No. Because
Yes.
the government takes power over you that it has the ability to. But Satan doesn't have that ability.
The power of what
Because
though?
Satan
You saying take
okay,
power?
you're
What
really gonna be
power?
outwitted by some dumbass that got kicked out of heaven? Really?
Do you think he has no powers over humans?
don't
Like
let it-
he has more
doesn't-
powers than humans
I know
than
he
humans
has
do.
power over humans.
Not
You
saying
don't
like
let him have power over them. But when you don't let him have power, he can't take that power. Is what I'm trying to tell you. You are when you give him excuses and you give him a reason to be above you and you don't place yourself above him, he's always going to be above you and constantly going to be controlling you. Do you see what I mean? It's
That's
about
not how-
placing you above. No, but that's how it works though. That's how
that might be how
consciousness works.
that might be how some people might actually view that. But I'm saying the actual evidential that we see. Do we not see negativity in the world?
Speaking of,
Do we not see the
yes,
negativity
but
that's happening?
That's not because Satan said it was so. That was because humans fucked up. It
Satan
was
didn't
because
say.
humans just. but that's not of any influence over. That's not because he influenced the person to do anything. That's because humans decided to be fuck ups. Because you're giving him too much power by blaming him for everything.
If that's the case,
When
if that's the case, if you no, I'm saying if that's the case, right? If I'm blaming him for everything, right? If that's the case, then why is it then, despite me being tired and stuff, like why is it I still get the effects of the negativity even though I don't what you call project or respond to it? Like you said, like don't pay attention to it, or what you call not try to let it get to you. Yeah, the negativities don't get to me, but at the same time it can have an effect on like my body and stuff. It can have an effect on that, and it can be make you feel like you have like a ton of like you having like a ton of like bricks in your backpack or something. And I know you know that feeling because we've all talked about it before. So that's why I say if that's the case.
I know that feeling. But what I'm trying to say is people are the ones to blame. It is not this omnipotent, fucking omnipresent thing that is giving you grief.
You saying it's only people. I'm saying both.
Yeah. No, I'm saying it's only people. Because only people could be that cruel. In all reality. Like people are the worst. People let Satan be the worst. If we're gonna be, because that it's not about him being 50% of the wrong or 50% of the blame, because you're giving him so much power over you by letting him dictate what you do.
He doesn't. I was not talking about him dictating anyone to doing it. It's just an influence that can happen. It's a potential. Like for example, what was he gonna say?
Satan is a scapegoat because the only information we find out about him, the only information that we receive about him, is from the opposite side of the argument. If the only information you ever received about me was from all of my enemies, you probably think I was a demon too.
If that was the case, but that's not how it's portrayed here. It's not portrayed like he's the only one that. It's not portrayed as he's the only one that. That's the only side. And everybody's saying it. I'm saying he's the one that did it himself. He's the one that wants everybody to know. He wants the ones that wants everybody to see and know what he does and what he is. Is what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to let you know or trying to make you feel like saying that he is like someone that's more powerful, like in the mindset wise, like changing you and stuff. Like I'm not saying that's what I'm trying to like view him as. I'm just saying that influence can take what you call like it can give damage, critical damage, and it can lead to high risk. You feel me? And why would you want someone to sabotage you? You wouldn't want to sabotage your friend, would you? So why would you want someone, as evil as that individual to sabotage you?
Where are you getting the idea that he's evil? Where?
He literally.
No. But where are you getting it from?
Literally, the world. You see it.
Humor me.
The world.
Where directly can you call this is Satan doing this? Where from?
Where you
And
think?
this isn't you interpreting people's actions as Satan. This is where does it say that Satan did this? Where does it say Satan caused this?
You wanted to say it on paper? Is that what you're trying to say?
I needed to say it on paper because otherwise it's human.
If that's the case, then
If you don't think humans are capable of sin completely on their own,
I did not say they're not capable of sin. I just said that they have accountability. That means that what you call they are bound to you know what I'm saying, make unintentional ones because of the critical damage the man influence. Like for example, how you were earlier, how you were emotional a little bit. It was unintentional, right? But where that came from, wasn't.
that was my doing though. That wasn't him influencing my emotions. That was me. That was me blowing up at my really good friends because I was at an emotional low. That was me. That's why I apologized. That's why I said, "Hey, I fucked up."
It's
because
fine.
It was my responsibility.
Yeah,
that was my fuck up.
That could be reasonable, but at the same time, I'm saying there's other factors as well. Like you said, there's other factors, and that is the other factor. And like I said earlier,
I choose to keep my emotions bottled up. Like
you choose.
Any way I look at this, I see myself. I see myself causing my own harm.
Why do you cause your harm to yourself? Why do you cause negativity on the ones that is unnecessary? Then why do you cause any type of negativity towards yourself? Why do you?
I don't like myself because I hate myself.
What led to that hate? Like, to you hating yourself?
Because I got it in my head, and other people who are completely capable of their own sin and don't like that. Blaming my life's hardships on Satan is not how I internalize that. And since I don't even see God as real, I don't see Satan as real. I just see him as a fictional character that is in a book.
That's what I was trying to get to.
Everything the fucking book says could be wrong. Think about the amount of history books that were written by the victors that have complete. Think about the whitewashed history that we see nowadays, where white people rewrote history to cover up black excellence, black accomplishments, the amount of fucking great contributions that people of color had to A, the US, and B, art, music, everything. They covered it up. The civil rights movement, the amount of race riots, the amount of atrocities that American citizens committed against people of color.
The thing is about that.
Why do you think that every bad notion that we see of Satan is written by people that are on the opposite spectrum? Why do you think that?
The thing
it could very well be that Satan is the exact person they say that he is, but I have seen things happen, and I'm saying the book was written by humans, so it is completely open for human error. And so what I'm saying is that when you are given a book of how to believe and how to see certain things, I do not see Satan as a complete bad or see him in the same light as you, because of the fact that the book was A, written by humans, B, if God won over Satan, right? Why would Satan want to give such an important gift of self-awareness to humans? Why would a being so evil, so unbelievably evil and tenacious and just awful, why would that being give humans such a wonderful gift of self-awareness, the ability to be aware of oneself and one's state is a gift.
Which is called.
Why would a being of such evil nature do that? That baffles me. That is a unbelievable action, and that is an unexplainable outcome.
So you believe that he's the one that gave free will? Oh, yeah, you said so. You said that earlier, right?
No. I don't think it's free will. He gave us self-awareness. Self-awareness and free will are two different things. Self-awareness is having one's ability to identify oneself and to be aware of oneself and one's condition.
And what accountability means? Not accountability. Free of will. You know what that means?
It means you have the ability to choose what you do
based off what your self-awareness, right? Because if let's say you didn't,
if you didn't have that before, though, you didn't have that, because as the Bible wrote, humans. What did the first thing that Adam and Eve did when they consumed the fruit? What was the first thing they did?
Oh, when they both ate the fruit joint?
Yes. What did they do?
They got scared. And then they started covering up. Yeah, because they got scared because they disobeyed. They knew they disobeyed Jehovah.
Because they became aware of their condition. Because they became aware of the consequences that would happen. They weren't scared before, which is why they could fall into temptation.
And why
fear is what prevents us from sinning against God. And if Satan gave us the fear against God, maybe Satan was just trying to prevent us from becoming the same thing he became. Too big for our hubris. And why would a being of such evil do us such a good? Is being able to be fearful of God.
The reason... go ahead.
Because if you truly let a being of that much power, if you aren't aware of the consequences, you're like a baby. You're like a 2-year-old that doesn't have enough mental development to comprehend the consequences of an action, which is exactly what happened.
Okay, if
because
that's
all they understood was the immediate consequence. They didn't understand the long-standing consequences, which is what happened later.
The thing
They were
is,
self-aware.
The thing is why God didn't explain the long consequences if they did foretake that action, which they did. But before they did, the reason why he didn't explain it long, because they were perfect to begin with. He made them perfect.
They weren't.
They
weren't even self-aware enough to think about the long-standing consequences of future. They weren't self-aware enough. That's not perfect. That's fundamentally flawed.
If you think that's the case, right? Okay, if that's the case, then why did Satan needed to go and influence them to eat it then? Why they couldn't did it themselves?
Because it was only after he got kicked out of heaven that he truly became fearful of God. And just like a sibling would, he tried to warn the younger sibling, about the parent and how crazy the parent can be. Because if a parent kicks a child out after misbehaving once, that is not a good parent. You would consider that to be a terrible parent.
If I feel like you're trying to say that Satan, when he did influence them, right? Once they folded, and automatically God like disbanded them. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, because that's exactly what happened. They literally had an archangel come down and literally escort them out of the garden.
That did not happen just by once of a.
That was exactly what happened.
Where is that? Where is
started covering themselves? It's literally in Genesis, dude. Go
Genesis? What? I want to know. Genesis what? What's the scripture?
Dude, you expect me to pull out fucking scriptures?
My bad. You the one that said
entire Bible.
You did.
I've read the entire Bible, but that means that I'm also able to recall information. Not fucking. You know how much shit I have to remember?
I thought you said you at least remember a couple of them. You say you remember a couple of the scriptures. I didn't expect 100, of course. I thought that was the couple. That's why I was asking.
I like Revelations. Revelations is cool because that's when everybody dies.
But you said it's in Genesis. All right, I'm gonna check a look because I feel like I've read a good amount of it and I didn't see that. And it was talking about what we were saying, but it did not say what you were talking about.
There's also a theory that Cain was the spawn between was actually fucking Leviathan and Lucifer, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I did not recall that in any scripture I read in the Bible.
No, that's just a theory.
Oh,
that's a Bible theory. No, but no, they were immediately removed out of heaven.
The information.
It wasn't a one-time thing. That was like, it was a literal, like, if they messed that up, they literally got kicked out of the garden.
I disagree.
That was what happened.
Because
literally what happened, dude.
The reason why I say this is because look, like I said before, you know what love means, right? He's literally the definition of love. So that being said, he would not. All right, if that's the case, right? Like, let's say you said they did one time he disbanded. If that's the case, then why none of us are like deceased right now? You know how many times everybody sinned unintentionally, wise, due to our imperfections? Do you know how many times we all unintentionally sin? You just unintentionally sinned earlier. I just unintentionally sinned earlier. Someone else just we talking about right now. Someone else just intentionally sinned just a second ago. Why is it that we still here?
Why is it that we're still here?
Yeah. If you saying that the one thing once
we're literally being punished as we speak. Why do you think we're literally waiting to die? We're literally waiting for the second coming, where the sinners will be banished to hell and all those worthy souls will be sent to heaven. This is literally Revelations.
No, I read a lot of Revelation. It did not say none of that. It said none of that. King James, any version, it said none of that. I read almost all Revelations. It said none of that.
You've read all of Revelations. You've
read
about the second coming. You've read all about the stories that
told about Revelations
of the second coming, where all souls will rise and be judged before God. That's literally what that means.
They'll be judged, but that's not what that means. So
will be banished to hell, and their suffering will be perfect. Literally, the German version translation of the Bible said that exact thing. All sinners will be banished to hell, and their suffering will be perfect.
I'm gonna look at that right now. You said the German version says that?
Yes.
Let me see. There's 22 chapters of Revelations.
Yes. It spoke about the 4 horsemen. It spoke about the signs and how to avoid them. Go to the, I think it was like the East Church or.
There's a couple of Germans I have in here. Which one was you like? Was you doing? Was it the? There's like
I've
four different.
read a lot of different versions of Revelations because it's my favorite book. Because I like reading about the end of the world. Because I'm a fucking weirdo like that. But in almost all of them, the final day, Judgment Day, is literally the name of it, and it is where all souls will rise and be judged before God. That is literally what that means. All sinners will be banished to hell, and their suffering will be perfect.
If that's what you feel, right, or I'm not feel, if that's how you view it, I would like to ask if that's the case. Then why did you say you don't believe in Satan or God or the Bible? If you believe in hell, you believe people are gonna go to
I
hell.
don't believe in hell. I don't fucking believe in hell. I am arguing from the point of view as somebody who would believe, so that me and you can argue about this or have a discussion about it. We're not arguing.
Oh, I don't believe in hell though. Hell
You don't
to
believe in
me,
hell?
hell doesn't exist. If
You
you
don't
want to
believe
refer to
you
hell
don't
as
believe
Earth,
in
then that's fine. I mean, it can be. What would you say?
So is your denomination not believe in hell?
Yeah, I
Or is
don't
that
believe
just
in
not a thing?
hell. Yeah, hell doesn't. Official hell don't exist.
In Revelations, in most of like all of Catholicism, and I know most of Christianity, hell does exist. And in Revelations, Judgment Day is the final day of judgment for God. Literally, that's the definition of it. And where all souls that are deemed not worthy of heaven will be sent down to hell, and their suffering and their penance will be perfect.
I feel like
Literally a translation of a Latin Bible. Literally the
people.
language of that it was written in.
I feel like when people started tampering with that, with the Bible and stuff, a while back, like a lot of people started tampering with the Bible. That definitely
Then
got
I was
misunderstood.
arguing that maybe Lucifer isn't the person that we thought he is.
No, that's what I'm trying to.
That's what I'm meaning though. Is
But
literally like
what I'm trying to say is that the Bible, yeah, it was tampered with, but it got what you call what is that the official the Greek, because the first language that was written in it was like Greek or and Hebrew, I think, and they found.
it was Hebrew, and you're talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls were actually later proved to not be from the era that they thought they were, mainly because of the fact that the conditions of the salty Dead Sea that it was in would have proved to age them much farther than what we would have normally thought. So, the Dead Sea Scrolls were actually not the first rendition and were actually later written. Salt
So those are
deteriorates
the
paper,
ones.
and so that's why people thought they were older than what they were.
So what you call the first language, right? Of
Was
what
Latin. It would have the first rendition of the Bible would have been written in Latin
the
and
first
or Hebrew,
language.
depending on what you're adding first, because it would have been Hebrew, then Latin would have been the complete Bible, is what I'm talking about with New Testament. Because
Yeah.
the
So
Torah was the first rendition of the Bible, because the Old Testament is basically the Torah. The Torah is the Old Testament, basically. And so we basically took a bunch of shit out of the Torah, and that became the New and Old Testament.
That being said, right, the first one that Latin you said, and I knew it was Hebrew or Greek. It was one of those.
It was
They found.
Greek. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls, and I know what you're trying to argue. But the Dead Sea Scrolls were proven wrong, and that their dating was actually mislabeled because of the salty conditions of the Dead Sea. That would have aged the parchment that it was on a lot faster and made it so that they couldn't be accurately carbon dated.
If that was the case, right? Then why is that?
It is the case.
Why is that then the things that be spoken in the Bible is true? Yeah, you said that it was written by humans and it was also tampered with, of course. And on top of that, what you call, everybody is like, you know, the people that like church leaders and stuff like that, they're all saying different things about it. The reason why I said the Bible is like, is what you call the truth, like it says like things that literally correlates to today's age, like literally saying and also speaking that, like there's things that you said that is, I believe, definitely not in the Bible. Like you said, the homophobic things, like you say it gets homophobic.
That is in the Bible.
Where does it say that though? Where does it say stuff like that though? Because I know things that says like you know, not to harm people and stuff, but when it gets, you say, like too homophobic, I don't know about that one, because I didn't see and hear that, especially people that you like. For you read the book from cover to cover. People I've met read the book too from cover to cover, and they still reading it, like even though they've already read it, they keep rereading it, and they see new things too.
Read that. That is all I have to say.
Leviticus?
Yes, 18:22. You shall not lay with a male as with a woman. It is an abomination. Calling gay people an abomination.
Okay.
There.
My bad. Going through my app right now. The Bible app.
That nigga Kwaji in chat.
Kwaji?
Hmm.
Yeah.
What? She said something?
No, he just surprised y'all. It was still up.
So you surprised that we're still up and arguing?
Not arguing, just debating.
It seemed like Kwaji had a lot of things against religion topics. He was getting angry.
No, he doesn't like. He doesn't like it when we fucking argue.
We're not even arguing.
He like.
Kwaji, you goof boy. We're not arguing. There's a difference between arguing and debate. You goof. Go to sleep. Go watch something else.
He told you to go watch something else. He told you to go watch something else. Bro, get off your bed and hop on PC right now.
Kwaji, we're not doing this in bad faith. Like, me and Goom aren't going to like.
We're not going at each other. We're not.
Our mind is close to zero, but we're also not hating on each other.
We're not going after each other's throat, you goof. It's going on for hours.
Literally so fucking annoying. What do you mean?
Bro, you have to talk about things like this, because that's how you That's how you it can be a train effect. Like for instance, he can go and talk to someone else about what we was talking about, and they be like, "Oh, okay, this is an interesting convo. I never really saw like that."
I'm annoying you.
Informative.
Yeah, it could be informative for somebody else. You know, conversations could be uncomfortable sometimes, but if no one talks about it, who will? Are you gonna talk about it? Because for sure you're first in line not to.
It's a touchy subject in the world we live in today. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it is true. That's true.
But like, it's two people that are understanding of each other's positions that aren't like.
I'm not trying to like make him think like how I think. I'm just sharing with him, and then
I'm
letting him know.
Curious on how he thinks.
Yeah, we're letting
come from fucking two different points of view.
Yeah, we're letting each other see from a third perspective of one another. If that makes sense. It's like a good informative thing.
Not. Because each of us will come away from this argument knowing more about the other point of view, and maybe when we think about things in the future, we'll take into account the things that we learn from each other.
And each time we say something about the topic, something new comes out of it. We get into a new what is that?
And
a new topic to get into
the
convo.
How he sees shit. We can agree to disagree on this. We just want to see where each other's arguments lie. I'm sorry that it doesn't feel like it makes you upset.
You want to hop in VR, Blagic? Let's go hop in some VR, man. You want to go hop in VR then? That's how you feel? Yeah, hop in VR right now. Man's on his couch, probably.
Yeah, he's on his couch. It's haven't changed topics at all. It actually has. We've actually gone from talking about like Lucifer and shit to
humans
about, like Bible translation and like human responsibility over each other. It's actually been really cool. Like a lot of this stuff is like philosophical stuff. So usually your arguments will lie where like you lie philosophically. So it's actually pretty interesting to hear what people's arguments are. At least I think so. I don't think it's annoying. I think it's actually really interesting.
He probably feels like how other people feel when it actually does get annoying, like it gets loud and somebody's getting angry. That's probably how he feels right now. Or that's how he probably views it. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's just not the only immersive convo. Like I said, the convo, every time I get in a convo, it gets immersive somehow. You know? Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. Oh. But we wasn't trying to like change each other. It was just, you know what I'm saying, get a interesting convo. I mean, it just happened to be interesting. I mean, it always is, but nothing wrong with getting, let's say for instance, you see a fire, baked cookie, you know what I'm saying, made. I know you want to try some. That joint is smacking.
Your examples are horrible.
How about you make one then? Since you're saying it's terrible, make one. No, you stood out on the stage. You brought the heckler vibe out. You be the heckler then. Say the example that you feel like is better than mine, because no one else saying nothing.
What'd you say about the cookie?
Like for instance, like, hold on, the cookie looks fire, right? And you're craving for something sweet. You would not want some if someone said you can take it. It's like an interesting conversation. It's interesting. We're just gonna dive in it. It's interesting,
Yeah, that's like saying getting a little bitty at the mall. It's the same thing.
I mean, if they're not taken and if they're not crazy, yeah. Yeah, and if they see you as an interest as well. Oh, oh.
I just know Quack doesn't like these types of debates.
Yeah. It's understandable though if he doesn't like it, but just
把那个，这就是你最大的本事了。
just don't pay attention when that does arise.
Did you find Leviticus 18:22?
Oh yeah. Where's my phone?
It literally
Okay.
that direct.
Is there any translations you want me to do, or?
No, I think it's pretty solid in almost every single one of them.
Okay.
King James, if you want to be safe, since it is the most common.
Yeah, just say it's a detestable act. It's probably said different in King James. You said that's tough.
Yep. So when people say that religion was never against gay people, no, it was. It was.
To become talks more about it on 23. Let me see. Oh, it just says something else. It's tough. That is an interesting topic. Interesting indeed.
That's why
This says something here in Genesis about it too. That is tough. I'm gonna look into further research too about that reason as well. So it probably does have a reason. I want to look into it, see what's the reason.
No, it literally it's due to the roles that a man and a woman are supposed to partake in. It's literally their entire argument is based around the fact that you need to abide by society's standards of like you need to abide by society's standards of like
And their way of living.
like you need to reproduce, you can't like anything that is not directly around the quote-unquote gift of life, and anything that deviates from that is viewed as a sin because of the fact that it is what they want to believe.
That is tough. That's a tough moment right there.
Had that scripture nailed to my fucking door. That one's been
They nailed that? Oh my goodness. Out of proportion.
It's kind of funny though. They tried to fucking get rid of me like a demon, trying to learn my name and shit. Trying to exercise me.
You said those were your neighbors that did that?
No. My parents.
Oh,
Nailed
to your.
my room door.
Aye. So wait, did you say your parents were Catholic or Christian?
Catholic.
That's tough.
raised in a Catholic household, so I am one of the 5% that didn't want to commit seppuku.
欢迎先生，景凤在等你。
Yeah, that stuff is out of pocket. They shouldn't be forcing any beliefs.
When your kid is gay, it's better than forced conversion.
别害羞，靠近一点儿，让我好好看看你。你的脸一道疤痕。干掉他！看我立马结束这场战斗。现在把他放下。有意思，一个真正的武者。
I just feel like sometimes you get fucking nailed with like Christianity so much that you just end up resenting it because of the fact that like
It's been forced upon you too much, or just actually no, just forced
not
upon
only
you.
that, it's also when their Bible, their literal teachings refer to you as an abomination. And they refer to you as something that should be avoided and something that should be killed.
That's tough.
It is tough, but it is what it is at this point. And I know why 괶ᴇ doesn't like it.
That's
There's a lot of different points of this, and I know I've talked a lot about the shit I've gone through with him. I know that it sucks hearing about it all the time because literally, like, it's not something you want to be hearing all the time.
欢迎先生，景凤在等你。
Yeah, that's understandable. That's how you
I
feel
get
about
why
it.
he doesn't like it. It's just when I talk about it with people and I confront it, it forces me to like almost kind of make peace with it. Like I can't like hide from it,
靠近一点儿，让我好。
and I can't like deny it. I have
你
to
的
like
脸一道疤痕。
I have to confront it.
干掉他！
I guess is what I feel like whenever I hold conversation about stuff like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's reasonable.
But it's also like I'm trying my beliefs, you know what I mean? To where like whenever I argue with somebody of like I wouldn't say we're exactly the opposite beliefs, but like somebody that holds different beliefs than yours. It's kind of a test of how much you really believe that thing.
Yeah, that is factuals.
And I appreciate every time that I get to try that because it reinforces that thing within me.
Yeah. Yeah, that is tough though. Having people doing that, forcefully hurting you and stuff, because they have a different point of views. That is not it.
I appreciate you being respectful about it. And I appreciate all those who can keep
欢迎
their
先生，景
beliefs
凤在等
in
你。
check and can like hold an actual conversation about their beliefs and not get angry or frustrated if somebody disagrees with them. because that's like the ultimate showing of maturity. And I genuinely have a deep respect for people that can do that.
Yeah, people usually when they, I feel like it's just even little stuff you can like turn into an argument because like they don't know how to accept other people's viewpoints. Not to per se like to put the same belief, but just to respect theirs.
To agree to disagree is a very powerful ability.
Yeah, for sure.
But also not being scared or frightened by your own beliefs is another one.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the keys to life too. When you content with yourself, so you won't have arguments and stuff. But then even also when people try to argue with you, you will be able to diffuse it.
Should I get my expert flying?
What happened? Oh.
My expert flying though costs like fucking 4,750 gold.
Like WoW?
Yeah, I've been playing WoW all day.
Well, you got levels in there? Is there levels in that game?
Yeah, I'm level 50 right now.
And well, you said how long you been playing that game?
2 days.
Dang. It's already at level 50.
I'm playing a little over 2 days, probably about 2.5. So closer to 3, but it is what it is. I just don't know. I just don't know if that's worth it. Fucking 5,000, like almost 5,000 gold for expert flying. Is it worth it? I think I'll save it to when I can like buy it.
This shit is toxic.
Got this snowy griffin. Going with snow themed stuff. I'm vanilla gorilla, as they call them. An ice monkey, if you may. As Kira would probably call me.
Oh my goodness. Oh no. I'm losing my touch.
That was weird. Sorry about that.
What happened?
Did you hear me, Kier?
No, your thing glitched.
Kier, what was your opinion on this situation?
To be honest, I don't have an opinion. I was just playing seafood, to be honest, but it's interesting hearing you guys talking about it. It's just
Are you against? Do you not like when people fucking talk about shit like that?
No, I'm not against it at all. I'm actually interested in a conversation like that because no one really talks openly. Usually ends in screams and yells.
That's what I was saying.
You actually learn a lot from that.
I just respect Boom's intelligence, to be honest.
I respect y'all as well.
Why do you think I brought this man back, boy? My son right there.
This guy. Oh!
Alright, I'm gonna pull up in a second later. Like 5 hours.
You wanna pull up?
Yeah. For right now, I'm about to go die in the bed. I'm gonna pull up on the stream now. Okay.
Oh, on the stream?
Quaji's gonna be like, they're finally done! The fighting has subsided!
I'm gonna be here.
Oh, you about to... I don't know if I'm gonna be here that long. Dang.
Bro, I think I might want to pack it in for the night, dog.
For real, I was just gonna try to beat this.
You've been thinking... You have any idea how fucking long I've been playing World of Warcraft?
What, 6 hours?
Bro, I've been playing since literally 7 o'clock this morning. Well, like yesterday morning. Literally. I've been playing for over 20 hours at this point. Been playing for 21 hours.
So what time you gonna pull up though? You saying 5 hours?
I'm actually thinking about going and dying in the bed too, to be honest.
It only works if you wake up with the right mindset.
Like I went to.
Myself, then it didn't work.
I tried to go to bed yesterday at like 4 a.m. because I was playing WoW all day.
I think
yesterday,
the WoW fucked up your mindset, and by the time you went to sleep,
no.
you were thinking about WoW, right?
No, it was Lucifer. He was tempting me, bro. He's like, you need to get back on that game. No, but no. I legitimately think it's just it's been so long since I've leveled a character in WoW that I just got really excited and just couldn't like think straight. I'm tired as shit, bro.
Yo, do you watch the script for Mr. Tomo 2304? Is that familiar?
You asking me or you asking who?
What
You
happened?
don't watch videos. I'm asking you.
Sound familiar? What content do they make?
He does Bleach reactions. No, Bleach.
Oh.
Manga.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Of course you gotta take one. Are you turning up? The go. I remember he working at who used to work at
What happened?
I knew a guy that helped with the Bleach anime, and he worked at fucking GameStop.
Wait, for real? Wait,
Yeah,
how?
the one at Westroads too, because he got laid off. Oh, I worked at GameStop for 3 months. Got fired.
Wage.
Fucking 16.
Oh, GameStop's the worst because they want to like program you to be a robot and promote their what's it called? They take advantage of
You just
kids.
gotta promote games all the time.
Yeah, they want you to take advantage of children.
出来面对你的生
That's tough.
I actually was the cool GameStop employee that didn't tell the parents about the shit that was in GTA.
海第9小队去。
I was the
But
homie.
that's the policy.
第9小队正在路上。
I was hooking. No, that. Why do you think I got fired?
我来处理。
I played the cool employee and got fired for it. To be completely and utterly honest.
Game, not meant for kids. I ain't gonna cap. Elder Ring fucking yo.
That's tough.
I would actually tell the parents it was completely fine for kids, and actually, there were a bunch of kids playing it anyway.
They said it was a kid for real. To be real with you, majority of the games that are out,
Bro,
kinda-
they aren't meant for kids. They just gifted the kids because parents don't want to parent their own fucking kids. They don't want to do research into anything.
It's actually kind of crazy.
It's tough.
Like, it's not my job to parent your kid or to do the research on a game that your kid wants. That's your job.
Saying, I think
Go.
they want
You
to
literally have a
inform.
smartphone. You are carrying an iPhone 7. Look it up on Google. You look up game reviews. You can see what games are doing.
Gammy whammy.
Uh,
Go be getting packed up. I know you are.
yeah, they're packing me up, bro.
Alright, I'm about to go lay down. Y'all,
Me too, man.
actually, I'm about to see you on a second, anyways.
Wait. Hold up. Wait.
What do you mean second? What's going on?
Tune into stream. Hold up. Let me zone in real quick. Let me check my slash played. Hold up. This is on my one character, and I've had this character for 2 days.
Oh my god, that's majority of the 2 days. Why don't you make a new character?
Man was grinding.
Fuck.
That's what I'm saying.
And this character's level 50 already.
Bro, you said we are streamers. You should stream. That's content right there.
I got my fucking snowy griffin.
That's the mount you was talking about.
Yup.
Ain't
Is the
no
amount I
cap.
was talking about.
It's better than Final Fantasy, to be honest with you.
You gotta. There's a lot more content here than there is in Final Fantasy. To be completely fair to Final Fantasy, like, there's just more content here.
I think it's like more content, but like Final Fantasy, if it was like 20 years behind, but like it's still ahead of time. You know what I'm saying? Like 20 years behind in graphics in that department. Otherwise, no. Just depends on the lore, which one you like.
I don't have my legend. I don't have my fucking epic flying yet, so I still have to fly really slowly.
Ew. It should take a
No,
minute.
That's
Oh,
tough.
I know why I'm clapped up.
You not sleep well?
No, it's because
No, but that's my backpack. That's my amount of gold that I got. Most of this is from death rolling people. So death rolling is where you agree on a number between 1 and whatever number you roll for that number. And let's say you agree on 250. You roll from 1 to 250, and then whatever the other player gets, let's say the other player gets like 25, You then roll from 1 to 25, and the first person to get 1 loses.
It's like betting.
It is. It's literally gambling. Not even joking. It's literally gambling. It's fucking awesome.
Fuck, I just had something I was gonna say, but I forgot it.
God damn it.
Oh my gosh.
God damn it, Kenny.
Bro, I bought a book. I bought this novel. Can't For Your Own World. This Bleach novel. It's chapter 1. I mean, volume 1 back in 2020. That should go for like $40 now.
Bro, how do you think I'm feeling literally sitting on a fucking butt shit load of money? Bro, if I were to sell my entire Bleach collection, art books and all, I could probably get $2,000.
No lie, because like the Bleach came back and like that shit is all-time high right now.
Right now I'm level 50. I'm about ready to go into Shadowlands content, which basically means in the short term, Mikey's about ready to fucking like get into the end game. Like I'm approaching end game content.
Oh, okay. You're a tryhard. You're for sure a tryhard.
Looking at 괶ᴇᴄ.
I'm not a tryhard, bro. That's kind of mean, but it's also kind of true. 괶ᴇᴄ.
Have you heard of a book called Dead Mount Dead? Dead Mount Dead.
Dead Mount Death.
That sound.
It's by the author artist. His name is 괚ᴜᴘᴘᴏʀᴛ.
The reason why, by the way, I stream is because I go stream for a hot minute.
Nope.
He streamed yesterday.
It's all because Kier told you to.
No. It's not.
That's the only reason.
It's not because of that. It's because, you know, I'm about to transition my schedule, job and stuff.
Oh yeah, he's about to leave.
Not per se. I'm just taking that extra shift because that stuff is kicking me in the foot, man.
I was gonna say, but
Sus.
hey, this manga looks really good.
I think y'all should play WoW. I think it would be fun.
The thing is, you gotta balance the games. Like you're balancing what?
No, I know.
That and what's it called? Damn.
No, I'm balancing way too many games. I'm not saying you should keep up with me. I'm just saying you should play WoW just because it's fun.
Definitely want to try that and
Before I do that,
continue.
I'm gonna hop back in RuneScape.
My man's about to go crazy in that RuneScape.
You know about RuneScape, though?
Someone told me about it. I didn't really put too much research into it. But yeah, I heard about it and saw a little bit. I think they got a mobile version of it.
They do.
That stuff is hilarious. Alright.
Die inside. Stay.
Yeah, that bet is tempting, man.